Yeah, welcome once again to this our next session, guys. And so let's start from where we had left. We had done up to loops. So today I'd like us to start looking at how to work with arrays in PHP. So that means just ensure that your server has started. Ensure that your server is working. Then just create a new project. Then we can just call this as project. Let me just confirm which project this is. Project 1, 2, 3, so project 4. Create a new project. Let's call this as project 4. Hit on create. Give it a few seconds for it to finish. Yeah, so here it is. Here it is, guys. So real quick, let's just create a new file inside here. We can even call it as arrays, new PHP file. We can call these as arrays. Arrays. So we can subdivide PHP arrays into 3. We can subdivide them, as a matter of fact, we can say arrays. Then we can subdivide these arrays into 3. So we can say we have indexed arrays, yeah. Then we have something called associative arrays, and we have something that we call multi-dimensional arrays. Yeah. So associative indexed arrays, associative arrays, and multi-dimensional arrays. Multi-dimensional arrays. So real quick in this class, ladies and gentlemen, let's start with the indexed arrays. Yeah. So as a matter of fact, we can just simply say indexed arrays. So an indexed array is a one value, not like a one value array, but it is an array represented or associated by an index or stored in an index. Yeah. So real quick, we can simply say we can have an array like say maybe variable names. Variable names is an array, and the array could have names like King, maybe Johnny. Yeah, so here it is. So this is an indexed array. Indexed because every item is stored in at a particular index. Yeah, no wonder it's called an indexed array. So if I wanted to print the name King, I will definitely print the name, the variable names at position 0. At position 0. Yeah, and so that means if I just print this out, or if I run this, so localhost slash web projects, localhost / web project. Then let me go for project 4. Then here's the arrays. You see, I'm printing the name King right there. The reason as to why it's coming with King is because you see, I'm just printing names at position 0. So every item is stored at an index. Yeah. So this is at position 0, position 1, position 2, position 3. You always have to count from 0. So that means the last item, I can echo something like echo names at position 0, 1, 2, 3. 3 at position 3. Then it will give me the name Mike right there. Yeah. So if I want to print all of these items, but you see, if you had like 1,000 names, you cannot print it like this, so that you say now echo names at position 0, position 1, position 2, position 3, up to 1,000. You can't do that. You cannot. You can't do that. So what you do, ladies and gentlemen, you use a loop. You can use a loop to print all these. You use a loop to print all these, and we can use literally any loop. Only that let's use a for each loop, which is quite so easy. We looked at how to work with loops, guys. So let's work with for each. So for each variable names, as for each variable names as variable X. You can echo variable X. Then we can also add a break, and echo a break. You can echo a break like this. Just echo a break. So I had forgotten to put a break right there also. So that when I simply come and refresh, you see it's going to print all the items: King, Johnny, Janet, and Mike. But of course, this first one is the one that we began by printing right here. Yeah, so it should not confuse you at all. Now you see we have done an indexed array, yeah, and it's quite straightforward. Now, also, if you wanted to work with something called associative arrays, these are arrays with keys and values. So let's have maybe variable cars, which is an array, but this is an associative array. So I can say maybe KCX 001 J. This is something called Prado. Okay. Then we can also have KBA 980K. This is maybe a Mercedes Benz. Then maybe KCR, maybe 325J. Maybe this is a Pajero. Then maybe KAA 008V. Maybe this is an Isuzu. With that Isuzu. So you see, we are actually trying to have an array, but an array that has got indices. It has got keys and values. So key, this one here has got a value Prado. Then key, this vehicle here has got the name this. Then this key, and that is the car. This key, and this is also probably, that's a lorry. So real quick, if I wanted to print out an item, I can just simply say print cars at position, let me say this, at that key, print cars at this key. So that if I run this, yeah, let me just put a break here so that every other thing can go on a new line. If I just have cars at that position, yeah, you see I've printed Prado. Prado is the car that is at which position? This one here. So this is an associative array. So as much as we are going to work with indexed arrays right up there, this is an associative array. Yeah, so you don't really use an index, but you use a key. Then yeah, so we can also do a loop here. We can just, let me echo a break. Then we can do a loop that can do a break. Then let's do a loop that can print out these cars. So for each variable cars as variable, say maybe K is associated to variable, maybe say V, yeah, whichever way, then we can just, we can echo. So if you can actually, right now you can echo maybe keys or values. You see, I'm using K and V just so you can say maybe it's key and value. But you see, you can also use even variable S and J if you wanted. I mean, you can use any other variable name, guys. It must not just be S and K, or maybe key and value. You see, when I just say key and value, it is to suggest this is going to represent the keys and this is going to represent the values, it does not mean that you must always name this as key and you must always name this as value. No, these are just variable names that I can pick from my head or something like that. Then if I wanted to display all the keys, I can just echo variable keys, key, then definitely I can echo a break. Can definitely echo a break. And if I wanted a value, I will again just say values, variable value. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, something like that. So that if I just run these, yeah, you see KCX, Prado, KBA, Mercedes, KCR, Pajero, KAA, Isuzu. I mean, I'm just printing keys and values. Only that you see I'm putting a break right there. But if I didn't put here a break, but instead put there something like these, yeah, I can just print something like this. You see, yeah, KCX is Prado, KBA is Mercedes, KCR, that is that, and KAA, this is this. Yeah, this is this, and it is working really perfectly okay. It's actually working perfectly okay. Yeah, perfectly okay. So this is how to work with associative arrays, guys. This is how to work with associative arrays. Associative arrays. Associative arrays. Now, on your own, I would like you guys to look at how to sort array. This we might not do this in this class, yeah, but it is still a doable concept, yeah, because you can have an array within an array. Yeah, you can have an array within an array, and it is quite super simple, yeah. As a matter of fact, let's just do one example. So let's say multi-dimensional array. So multi-dimensional array. Then we can do something like this. Maybe variable, maybe my array equals to, so this is an array. And you see, this is an array that is going to expect a number of things. It is going to expect maybe another array inside it. So the first array, maybe I can just say, maybe this is an array, maybe King, Johnny, Grace, Mike, something like that. Then I can also put a comma and put another array. You see, these are arrays that are within an array. So I can say again, maybe Amos, maybe Mustafa, maybe Jane, then maybe something like, say, Janet. Then we can also have another array, and probably this next array, this array is just for numbers, maybe this, comma, that, comma, maybe this, comma, and something like that. Yeah. So you see, ladies and gentlemen, this is an array, but an array of arrays. Yeah. So if I wanted to print the name King, if I wanted to print the name Jen, this is what happens. So Jen is an array that is at which position? So this is our array, and at position 0, we have this array here. At position 1, we have this one here. So Janet is on an array that is at position 1. So real quick, I can simply say echo my array at position 1. Yeah. Then when we get to at position 1, so this is position 0, position 1. When we get to position 1 array, Jane is at which position? So this is position 0, 1, 2. Jane is at position 2 on this array. So again, we just say position 2 like that. Then if I just go and run these, if I run these, you will see Jane. yeah, we have actually printed out gen, and it's super straightforward, guys. Yeah, you see, this is a multi-dimensional array whereby we have an array of arrays. So we are trying to move through an array to print an item. Yeah, as a matter of fact, this array could also have an array again inside it, so that when you get to that array, you will know what happens. You will know what happens at that. Yeah, but in the meantime, you see, this is array at position 1, array at position 1, then that array that is at position 1 move through to an item that is at position 3 on it, position 2 on it, and you're going to scope and you're going to get that name. That is actually super straightforward. So until you do practice multi-dimensional arrays, as a matter of fact, let me just do this. So we have an array closing there. So we have an array here, starting, closing, and it also has arrays. This is the first array, this is the second array, and this is the third array again. And this is what we are calling multi-dimensional array. Multi-dimensional array. So having said that, guys, you can look at how on W3 schools, just look at how to sort arrays, and everything is going to be super simple. Yeah, so about arrays, guys, I could mention, that's the file I can mention to you guys, but you can do more research about how to print these arrays, how to print these arrays. Now, real quick, ladies and gentlemen, let's look at another concept, and the concept that I want us to look at in this class is PHP forms. PHP forms. Let's just create a new PHP file. Then we can just call this as, for us to understand forms, I probably need to give you a preview of this class, even before we create this file. Now, ladies and gentlemen, assuming you're going to meet a website, or a client is asking for a website from you, a website that expects someone to enter a username and a password. Or maybe a client wants you to do a very simple application where the user enters the first number, the user enters the second number, and when you click on calculate, PHP is able to take the data from your form and process it somehow and give out the result. So what we do in this case, ladies and gentlemen, what we do in this case is we can simply create a new PHP file. We can even just call it as maybe calculator. Calculator, like that. Then this calculator right here, we can easily, because we are going to be demanded of a PHP form. Yeah, you see, a form can always be created using HTML, guys. Especially when we are learning PHP, we are going to create a form in HTML. So how do we embed our HTML on the PHP file? See, this file is a .php file, but we need to start with HTML. So real quick, I'm not going to start with the PHP script. Instead, I'm going to start with HTML, like that. HTML, like that. Then once I do that, I can hold down the control key on my keyboard, CTRL key, or command key on your Mac keyboard. Yeah. So CTRL, then hit space on the keyboard. So that when I just type there HTML, then control space, I will see the options that I want to work with. And I want to work with this one here. I want to work with HTML5. Super. Then this one here, I can even just give it a title as maybe calculator. That is the title. Then on the body, I can even just have some kind of H1. So let me just type there H1, hit tab. Then I can type there enter two numbers to get a sum, or to get some, something like that. Yeah. So once I do that, so it is upon me now to create a form, ladies and gentlemen, to create a form. Now, so having done that, guys, so we need to create the form. We actually need to create the form. So how do we create the form? So we just type their form and hit tab on the keyboard so that we can have the form tags created. You see, we have this form right there. Yeah, just hit on form, just type their form and hit tab on the keyboard. Then at least just ensure that you're arranging them like these so that yeah, we can type in between here. We can type in between there. All right, so we are actually going now to work with the form. So the form is going to supposed to have two inputs. Yeah, so the first input, we can just say input, or we can even have three inputs. The first input is going to have a name to ask the user to enter a name. So on the first input, we can give it a placeholder, enter your name, enter your name. So we can have a break, two breaks there. Then we can have the second input, input type text right there. Then we can have placeholder, enter first number, and again have br, then we can have another input, enter second number, then we can have the last input of type submit, because this is a button, and the value that is on this button is calculate like that. Yeah, great. So let's try go run our calculator.php file. You see, this is our arrays.php. We don't really want to run that. So here is our calculator.php. So on our calculator.php, as you can see, it is saying enter two numbers to get sum. Yeah, and then enter your name, enter first number and second number. Then we hit on calculate. But you see right now, even if you click on calculate, there is nothing that is going to happen. Yeah, until we implement the PHP to take the name, like say if I put here the name King, then I put the first number as 10, then I put the second number as 20, then click on calculate. Yeah, until I put the PHP logic is when I can receive data from this form. Yeah, then definitely by use of something like JavaScript or CSS and maybe Bootstrap, you can design up your form to look really pretty. But in the meantime, let's handle this entire process of, you see how the placeholder works. When I just start typing something there, the text disappears, then I can continue typing. That is the essence of the placeholder, yeah, so that the user can know then what to type on which input field, yeah. So real quick, as you can see, so we have our first input field right there, second and the third. But you see, when someone is going to be clicking on these or entering data in these fields and click on calculate, ladies and gentlemen, we need to get this entire data to PHP. But now how will PHP know that the name is coming from this field, the first number is coming from this field, and the second number is coming from this field? How will PHP know? So we need to give them names. So right away, I can just give it a name. So like say name, maybe X. This is maybe name Y, so that we can go and tell PHP that the fields or the data is coming from these names. So name Z. But you see, guys, when we get to production, give these input fields better names. Don't just give them XYZ. See, I'm giving them XYZ because I want you guys to know when we get to PHP where I'm going to use the X, where I'm going to use the Y, and where I'm going to use the Z. Also, in PHP, before we do anything, we must also check if this button has been clicked. Yeah, this is my own style of coding. I need to check if something is happening to this button calculate. So for me to do that, I must also give this button a name. So I can give it which name? I can give it maybe btn underscore maybe calc or something like that. I mean, you can give it any name, guys, for as long as we are not going to put spaces here. You see, I'm using underscores instead of spaces. Yeah, I'm not going to work with spaces right here. So when someone clicks, when I get to PHP, I know btn calculate is my button. I know the name is going to come from field X. The first number is going to come from field Y, and the second number is going to come from field Z. Yeah, so this one here, as far as we are concerned, everything is going to work perfectly okay. And remember, when we click on button calculate, guys, we need to take this entire data and hand it over to PHP. So for us to be on the safe side and the easiest and the cheapest way, let us just create the PHP file that is going to handle data that is coming from this field right here. So let's just create another PHP file. So right click, say new PHP file, and this PHP file we can call it as maybe calculator underscore handler or controller. Yeah, calculator handler or controller. I can actually call it controller, calculator controller. Yeah, I can call it the calculator controller, because when I click on calculate, I carry all the data to the controller so that it can be handled by PHP. Yeah, so let me just create a new PHP file, call it as calculator underscore controller, like that. Yeah, calculator controller. You see, I've just created it, but I haven't written any scripts right here. But wait until we get to that, then you will know what I mean. Exactly what I mean. Sorry, guys. Yeah. So calculate when we are on this calculator. When we are on this calculator, calculator.php file. When we are on this calculator.php file, and someone has entered the name, the first number, the second number, they click on calculate. Somehow we need to carry this data to this file or to this PHP handler controller. Yeah. How are we going to do that? We are going to use something called an action. Yeah, so you see on our form, we have an action. So when someone clicks on button calculate, yeah, first we take this entire data and we send it to calculator handler.php, calculator controller.php. So immediately we click, like right now, let me come here and refresh, guys. You see, when I just click on calculate, you see I'm automatically going to calculator controller.php. But you see, it is expecting me to carry something on name X, carry something on name Y, carry something on name Z, and also carry something on button calculate. But you see, button calculate already, it always has a text calculate, because we have already assigned the value as calculate. Yeah. So ladies and gentlemen, you see right now, if I just put here the name as maybe say King, maybe the first number is maybe 30, second number is maybe 40, click on calculate. Take note, take note. You see X is carrying King, Y is carrying 30, Z is carrying 40, and BTN calculators. So you see, automatically I'm going to the next page carrying this data, even without telling HTML to do that. The fact that we are working with an action, that means automatically HTML is going to give us all this data right here, and we are going with it to this PHP file. And remember, for us to hand over this data to PHP, we need to use something called a super global. We need to use a certain super global called a method get. Yeah, we need to use a method called get. Yeah, we can actually use get or post. Yeah, we have two super globals that we can use to hand over data to PHP and also to receive data from a form in PHP. So we can use either get or post. So right away, let me just give it method. Say I can use either small letters as get, or I can use capital letters as get. And also I can either use small letters as post, or I can use capital letters as post. I will tell you the difference, guys. These are actually going to do the same thing, but I'll only give you the difference. Let us start with get. Let us start with get. Now, when you are trying to send data to PHP using a method get, when you receive, you also need to receive using a get. But when you are sending using a post, when you receive it, you receive it using a post. And remember, this get right here, you can either write it in as get in small letters or get in capital letters, but you can't mix. You can't mix and say get, something like that. You can't mix and say get. So it is either get in small letters or capital letters like that. Yeah. So that now, right now, guys, when we go to these calculator handler.php, as far as I'm concerned, we will have gone with all the data. So it is upon us now to receive the data from here and calculate, and give out the result. So real quick, ladies and gentlemen, what we do now is, you see, when someone clicks on the button calculate, we need to actually check if this button calculate has been clicked. If button calculate has been clicked. So this is how you check. So as a matter of fact, let me comment and say check if btn underscore calc has been clicked. Has been clicked. So we can say if is set, you use something called is set method. If is set variable underscore, which method are we using to receive data? Get, like that. If is set variable underscore get, we are getting which button? What is the name of the button? The name of the button is btn calc. Here it is, guys. btn calc. So let me, yeah, btn calc. So if is set variable underscore get button calc. So that means if the button is set, that means it has been clicked. So if it is set, yeah, I can start receiving the data. Start receiving the data entered by the user from the form. Yeah, from the form. Yeah, so real quick, I can say, listen now, variable name. The user has given me a name, and a name I'm receiving it from variable underscore get. I'm getting it from which field? X. Remember, X is the one that is coming with a name. So X, you see, name X is the one that is carrying a name, and name Y is carrying the first number, and name Z is carrying the second number. So first number, I'm receiving it from X. Oh, no, name, I'm receiving it from X. Then variable first number equals to variable underscore get, and I'm getting it from maybe Y. Then variable second underscore number equals to variable underscore get, and I'm getting this from name Z. From name Z. Yeah, so you see, the name I'm getting it from X, first number from Y, and second number from Z, guys. From Z. Now, so having done that, ladies and gentlemen, so as you can see, we have name X, Y, Z, and btn calc here, and we have also ensured that we are checking if we set btn calc, start receiving the data entered by the user from the form, and this is how we receive it. The name, we are receiving it from X, first number, we are receiving it from Y, and second number, we are receiving it from Z. And remember, we are using variable underscore get, and get is capital letters. Some of you will say variable underscore get in small letters. This is wrong. It will not work. It has to be variable underscore get in caps like that. Yeah, variable underscore get in caps like that. So that now we can simply say now something like variable total or sum equals to now variable first number, because we have already received the number, plus variable second number. First number plus second number, because we will have received from the user first number and the second number up here. So we can just add them. Then we can display the result. So echo and say, hello variable name. So when I just say hello variable name, I mean maybe if the name will be King, I can say hello King. Yeah, so hello variable name, your sum is variable total. Your sum is variable total. Like that. Your sum is variable total. Then let me just refresh so that we can see this. So the name is maybe Mike. Then the first number is maybe 200. Second number is 300. When I hit on calculate, see, hello Mike, your sum is 500. Yeah, so here it is, guys. Hello Mike, your sum is 500. If you are very keen, guys, you can see we are saying we are going to calculate a handler.php, and X is carrying the name Mike, Y is carrying 200, and Z is carrying 300. Then, and btn calc is this one here. And everything is working as desired, ladies and gentlemen. But remember, I told you I will tell you the difference. I told you I will tell you the difference, because whenever you're using method get, guys, in as much as we are going to send data using a get and we are also receiving using a get, you guys can see that whenever we are using a get, we receive using a get. Yeah. Whenever we do that, yeah, we are sending with method get, so we must receive using a get. Whenever we use a get, the data is transferred via the URL. As in, you see, the data is transferred via the URL. This is what I mean. Data is transferred up there. And if you get a very serious hacker, they can tap into your data very easily. Yeah. So a method get is good, but you need to be I mean, if you are passing very sensitive data, I am not advising you guys to use the method get. Method get has got its own specific uses, which some of which, if need arises, we might have to look at them. But clearly just know whenever you use method get, you are passing data right up here on the URL. Yeah. But wait until we just change it to method post. You see, if I change this to method post, then yeah, when I just change this to method post, then let me change, then I have to also change this to variable underscore post. I have to change it to post, guys. Then also I have to change this one to post. Then I have to also change this one to post, because I'm using I'm using method post the other side. Yeah, post all over. So when I just come here, let me refresh. So I've refreshed. So let me put the name as maybe Janet. Then the first number here is maybe 800, and the second number maybe 900. Then calculate. You see, hello Janet, your sum is 1700. But ladies and gentlemen, take a look at your URL. There is no data here. There is no data here, but the data has been transmitted to the other page or to the other file. Yeah. So this is a more safer, and yeah, it is a more safer way of how to transmit your data, because the data is not actually visible on the URL. So whenever you're using method get, just know the difference. Method get is going to send data via the URL, and method post is just going to like pass over the data to the other side, and not like necessarily via the URL. That is the main difference. But any other time, we can use any method if we wanted to use any of these methods, ladies and gentlemen, because they are both going to relay data. Yeah, especially when we are receiving data from a form. Yeah, so clearly, guys, you've seen how that works. Let's do one more example. Let's do an example that can do what? Maybe can calculate the simple interest of a person. So let's just create a new, this all is just for you guys to know how to tap data from a form. So let's say maybe simple interest. Simple interest. Or I can just say SI calculator and simple interest calculator. Yeah, simple interest calculator, SI calculator. Then remember, we need to start with a form, because we need to have a form where someone can enter the principal, where someone can enter the rate, and where someone can enter the time. And if we wish, we can even ask the person to enter the name, so that by the time someone is going to enter the name, we can refer them with their name, to them with their name. So we can say something like, say, HTML. So HTML control space, then we have our HTML5 right there. Then I can just call this as maybe simple interest as the title. Then real quick, I can just say maybe some kind of H1 to say enter values to calculate simple interest, something like that. Then real quick, guys, we can just have a form. We can have a simple form like that. And most of the time, this is the mistake students do. They actually create a form like this. Then instead of ensuring that they type things in between here, so they hit, instead of hitting enter so that the form closes down there so that they can start coding in between here, the mistake or the blunder they do is they just do form tab, then again they'll just come again here, then go to the next line, then start doing inputs right down here. Then finally it is not working and they complain. they complain saying it is not working. This is wrong, guys. So for the form to work, you must ensure that you are in between here, like that. Then let's start with the first input. So input, input type text. I can simply say maybe the placeholder. Can ask someone to enter name. And the name of this input, because PHP will require these, I can even give it maybe Gina. Gina is a Swahili word for name. Then I can put a BR there. Then I can have the second input. Second input is an input type text. Then placeholder. Let's say enter principal. Then the name is, I can say maybe name as PRPL, maybe principal. Yeah, PRPL, something like that. Or you can use a better name, guys. I only told you that you can ensure that at least you're doing something that looks nice. Yeah. So again, break. Ensure just the name, it looks nice. Yeah. Again, the third input can have a placeholder. Enter rate. Then the name is maybe something like RT, maybe for rate. Yeah. So BR, then the type. So we can have another input type for an input type text. Then we can have placeholder as enter time. Then the name is maybe TM or something like that. TM for time or something like that. You see, I'm just using some kind of custom names so you can know you can actually use any name. Yeah. Then so the names don't look really appealing, but it's just for you guys to see how I'm going to utilize them. Yeah. Then the last one is an input type submit, which is a button, and this button has got a value as maybe calculate, and the name is maybe btn underscore si underscore calc, maybe button simple interest calculate or something like that. I mean, it could be any name right there, guys. Yeah. So that now when someone clicks on button calculate, we need to have somewhere where we can direct our action. As in, we need to have a page to where the PHP is going to handle. Like you see, previously we had this calculator controller, and you see the action we just directed it to calculator controller.php. So the same thing with this simple interest, we also need an action. So ladies and gentlemen, real quick, let's just create a simple interest calculator controller. So real quick, new PHP file, we can just say si underscore calculator underscore controller, si calculator controller, then just click on an OK. Yeah, so we will come back to this file when we are implementing the logics, but let's finish up with our form first, guys. Yeah, so when someone clicks on the button calculate, we take them to si calculator controller. Yes. Then which method are we using? We are using method post, which is a little bit much safer. Yeah, we are using method post, guys. We are using method post. So we have our form ready. So that now when we get to this other side, we need to check if this button calculator has been clicked. You remember when we checked with an check if btn calc has been clicked? You remember? If it's set right here. So we also need to check it this other side because these are totally different form. So I can simply say if is set variable underscore post, and I'm using which name? The name that I'm using is, you see, I'm coming to confirm to be sure so that I just don't use wrong things and I assume they will work. Yeah, so btn calc, no, btn si calc. I'm even copying, not to type from scratch, just to be sure. Yeah, like that. Then I can now start receiving them. So I can even say start receiving data from the user entered on the form. I mean, the data that the user has entered on the form. You see, after you've checked that the button calc has been clicked, let's now start receiving receiving the values. So I can simply say now variable name, because I also need to receive this name. So variable underscore post. Then I am receiving from which name? From name Gina. I'm receiving the name from name Gina from the form. Then variable principal. I can even just say P equals to variable underscore post, and I'm receiving from which name on the form. So the principal, I'm receiving it with using this name PRPL. Let me just copy to be sure. PRPL. Yeah. Then variable rate. I can use variable R equals to variable underscore post. Then I'm receiving it from RT. You see the rate I'm using, the name RT. Let me copy just to be sure, paste it there. Then variable time. Time equals to, so variable underscore post. Then real quick on the SI calculator, I can just use the name TM, name TM, like that. Then because I want now to get the simple interest, so I can simply say variable interest equals to, so the formula is principal multiplied by rate multiplied by time, and all of that divided by 100. So I can simply put them in brackets and say variable P multiplied by variable R multiplied by variable T, then all these divided by 100. All this divided by 100. Then real quick now we can echo a result and say echo and say hello, hello, the name, hello name, your interest is variable interest, like that. Yeah, you see we have just implemented that real quickly, and it is super straightforward and super easy. Yeah, we receive the data, we just calculate it somehow and give the result. So let's just see how that works. Let me go back to, I don't actually want to run these. I want to run the SI calculator. So you see someone might start by directly running SI calculator controller. Nothing will work, guys, because it will actually see you haven't clicked the button calculate first. Yeah, so you can't just directly click on SI controller. You must start with the calculator for it to work. And here is our calculator. I don't know why I didn't put here break, but anyway, it's okay. We'll just click it from here. So the name is maybe, let me just see one of the names right here. Ian. Let me work with Ian right here. Let me work with Ian. Yeah, so the name is Ian. Then principal is maybe 1,000 or 10,000. The rate of 2%, and the time is 3 years. Hit calculate. Then hello Ian, your interest is 600 shillings. So whichever dollars or whichever money right there. Yeah, actually it is working. It is working as desired. It is working as desired. All right, yeah. So this has worked, guys, but I want to give you a challenge. I want you to attempt this challenge using a well-designed form, implement a BMI calculator, and determine if the user is 1, underweight, 2, normal weight, 3, overweight, and 4, obese. And this is the scale. The person can only be underweight if their BMI is less than this. It can be normal weight if the BMI is less than this, and it is overweight if the BMI is less than this. Yeah, then it can be obese if any other value apart from this. Yeah, I can even say use the formula BMI is equals to weight divided by height squared. Yeah, you guys can attempt these, and let's see how you can do these. But I want you to receive data from a form. I want you to receive data from a form. Yeah, so you can attempt these, ladies and gentlemen, and let's meet in a few. I hope you have tried to handle this question right here. So in addition, guys, you can also attempt these. Then let's meet in our next lecture. Until then, see you for now and bye for now.